Welcome back to LimQ Plus, everyone. On this channel, I am 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until Tears of the Kingdom comes out, which is today in 34 days. Every day I wake up and I cannot believe that the game's coming out next month. I mean, it's literally less than 5 weeks at this point until we get to play the game. It's going so fast, like, it's almost kind of crazy. While I'm getting these last Korok seeds, before I'm installing the DLC, which I'm still going to be beating, in case you don't know, we are at 99.33%. I kind of want to brainstorm a little bit today, because I was thinking if I wanted to, kind of tell you guys, like, a theory that I have, but I'm not sure at all about this yet, but extremely curious. And what I want to talk about is Tears of the Kingdom's new shrines. Now, I will be calling these structures with the green Zonai swirls around them shrines for now, for reasons that I explained in previous videos. We so far see around 4 of them in the presumably new Great Plateau tutorial sky area, and all 4 that we see over there in Aonuma's gameplay demo are found without a green Zonai swirl around them. I don't know if you're going to be getting the abilities inside these new shrines, but I'm pretty sure that they are going to be acting very close to shrines. We see them scattered all around Hyrule, and in the past a lot of us thought that these swirls actually appear once you activate these structures, but after seeing the newest gameplay, I think it's going to be the other way around. We all agree, at least when I say we, then I say people that I talk to, that the way it is likely works is that the swirl is around them for you to find them at first, these new shrine structures. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's the left one. To find them at first, and once you actually found the shrine, the swirl will disappear after you beat the challenge, presumably challenge, that's going to be inside the shrine. Again, this makes sense because the shrine structures... I almost got hit there. The shrine structures on top of the new Sky Plateau, that's a great teleport, don't have the swirl anymore, so presumably in that playthrough Aonuma has already completed them, which is why the swirl disappeared. Now, in my mind, shrines are super interesting. I know a lot of people really want to see dungeons and not shrines again, and I can understand that. I do also want to see dungeons, but I talked about this a lot on this channel. My favorite speedrun has always been all shrines, where you do all 120 shrines as quick as possible. It's a very movement-based speedrun that also focuses on quick puzzle completion, and it's really cool how it evolved over the years. Like, every new movement technique that gets found eventually makes its way into the all shrine speedrun. So that's always really cool to see. And I don't know if they're going to be called shrines, maybe they're going to be called like temples or whatever this time. If there's going to be a speedrun category to get all of them, I will definitely be speedrunning it. It's almost guaranteed. Now, in my mind, I'm not exactly sure how these new shrines are going to work. Obviously, let's pretend we already know the fact that the Zonai swirl is around them when you find them. That's what we are assuming now, because again, the swirl is gone in the sky, but we can see them on the ground. One easy way to make these shrines work is to do it just like they did it before, where it's essentially just an entrance to an underground area. Something is just underneath this structure. Now, not only do I think would that be kind of cheap and boring, because that's literally what we did in Tears of the Kingdom, but I think it's going to be a little bit different. So I think there's a good chance that this swirl is basically kind of going to teleport you somewhere, right? So you go into the shrine, this new structure, you interact with it, and you go through the swirl, maybe into the sky. In my mind, I had 2 ideas. So maybe these new shrines teleport you to a new Zonai type shrine, but instead the way the shrine works this time is it's like like a sky island in its own little realm, right? So think of the Sheikah shrine, but instead of a covered shrine, it's a sky island that you can't reach otherwise. You can only reach it through these worlds, so it's their own map. That's option number 1. And option number 2, which I think is cooler, but I don't know if it's possible, would be that these new shrines teleport you to a specific sky island on the map that you can also reach in a different way. And when you complete that puzzle, that shrine is linked to that specific island. So let's say there's a new shrine here, it teleports me to Sky Island all the way over there, and once I complete the puzzle or challenge on that Sky Island, this shrine is also completed. I think that would be cool for fast travel and getting around the map in general, but I think it won't really work if we have a great plateau again, because if it teleports us away from this new Sky Plateau, then maybe we could escape. Like, in general, I don't think that's really how it works. So 3 options, I think: a secluded Sky Island that you can only reach through the shrine, an actual Sky Island in the world, or underground again. I honestly am leaning towards the secluded Sky Island, just like a Zonai Skies themed shrine, basically. But that might not be the case. That's what I'm leaning towards, though. I'm going to be farming some wood here as I'm talking. I know that's not the most exhilarating content, but we are getting close to the point where I do have to complete Tarrytown in order to actually reach 100% here, which I still need to do. I need to progress Tarrytown by just a little bit. Over on the right side of the map there, in order to get even closer to 100%. 99.5, we're so close. Now I want to kind of brainstorm as well what sort of challenges we're going to find inside these new shrines. I think one very likely one is going to be a new test of strength sorts of challenge. In fact, I think this construct that we saw with the dragon heads on the official Twitter might be inside one of these new tests of strengths. The reason I think so is because the constructs on the overworld are kind of giving me like these Guardian Scout vibes. The enemies that you find inside the original plateau shrines, like the very small version. And the golem boss that we've seen in the previous trailer are giving me like Hinox vibes, so like outside of the world mini bosses. Those big constructs, in my opinion, could be a good candidate for a test of strength type shrine. If we are assuming that, yes, you can fuse a lot of weapons, but there's still strong weapons in the game, I think these test of strength type shrines, if they're not like all over the place, make sense, because they respawn when there's a blood moon. We are pretty sure that the blood moon is still a mechanic in the game. We've literally already seen it in the trailer. It works slightly differently now. But if there's still blood moons that respawn enemies, these test of strength type shrines make sense, because they kind of restock the weapons in the world. Even though you can technically make infinite of them with fuse, but restocking stronger weapons. By the way, one thing that I just like kind of thought of, and that I think a couple of us are sleeping on this. Yes, you can easily fuse weapons, but one thing that's going to be a lot more rare now in a game that's balanced around fusing is actually bow and arrows. I don't think there's a way that we know of yet how we can actually fuse a bow, right? So getting bows is going to be even more important. This makes sense to me because bow and arrows, I talked about this in the video so long ago, are the strongest weapon in Breath of the Wild, especially because of how broken bullet time is and how broken the double damage headshot modifier is. We don't know if either of them are going to be back in the game. We haven't actually seen a headshot yet being performed, and we haven't seen bullet time used yet. So maybe they nerfed the bow and arrows even more, but then again also kind of buffed them by adding the fusing arrow mechanic. We're gonna see how the game plays when it's out, but my entire point was I think we're gonna get some sort of test of strength again in these new shrines. Not sure if it's gonna be called, it's probably not gonna be called test of strength, maybe it's called like a challenge of power. Well, I mean, I don't know, but you know what I mean. I think puzzles are absolutely going to be back. They are my personal casual favorite shrine to solve. Any sort of puzzle shrine, especially physics-based one. And think about it now, we have so much potential to test our new abilities inside these shrines. Using Recall, Ultra Hand, even for like little vehicle-based puzzle shrines. Could be huge. I don't know if we're gonna have much shrines that have centered around Ascent because of how like big of a scale that ability is. I think Ascent to me makes more sense in like a straight up like dungeon, but I'm sure that's another one that we can somehow use for puzzles. Recall absolutely is. Ultra Hand depends again on the scale. And then Fuse. I mean, Fuse could be interesting for the test of strengths, but I think Fuse is more interesting for the overworld in the first place. When it comes to new ones, I haven't really thought about that too much yet. I never really thought... I think the only problem with shrines in Breath of the Wild was there was too many of them, and a lot of times it felt like once you've seen a couple, you've seen them all. Yeah, like, yes, there's these standout shrines sometimes, like Eventide Island, even something like Moglatan here. That feels special, but for the most part, you know, I hope that in Tears of the Kingdom there's gonna be less shrines and they feel more special. And then instead they add some dungeons and bigger scale stuff. But in general, I'm excited for shrines to return because of my very biased opinion, especially when it comes to speedrunning. I'm a huge all shrine speedrun enjoyer, and I will definitely be speedrunning all Zonai Shrines if they do actually end up being a thing. Let me know if you have maybe some clever idea yet. One thing I wanted to talk about is, I think there's actually a chance that once we complete the challenge, Link will absorb that little Zonai swirl around the shrine into his hand, given that we've seen that Zonai swirl around the green hand that's sealing Ganondorf. Maybe Link will absorb that shrine back into the hand and get something akin to a spirit orb. I don't know if it's gonna be called spirit energy, new power obtained, whatever, but you get the point. I think it's gonna be exactly the same again, where we get our spirit orbs and stamina from these tests and challenges slash shrines. I don't know, I guess I'm gonna call them shrines for now. That's the easiest way, so you guys know what I'm talking about. But let me know your theories. Maybe you have already figured it out better than me, where you think these shrines will take you, what they will contain. Are you excited for them? Do you think shrines, if there are less of them and they feel more special, should return? Or are you mad about the fact and you just want dungeons instead? Again, I kind of gave you my outlook on it. Tomorrow we will probably be farming more wood, so I hope you're all looking forward to tomorrow's episode of LimQ Plus. We need a bunch more to get Terrytown to the point it needs to be at. I don't think I need to make the last upgrade. I only need to do the 3 stores. The jewelry, clothing, and Rito store, which means I only need 10, 20, 30... Wait, I actually only need 60 wood, right? I'm gonna do the math again, but I'm pretty sure I only need 60 wood because I don't need to do the last 50 wood upgrade to get Terrytown to the stage it needs to be at. So actually, tell you what, we'll be completing Terrytown tomorrow. And that's actually gonna be perfect, which means tomorrow I'm gonna be talking about the rebuilding Hyrule idea that a lot of people already brought up. I actually brought that idea up right away when I first saw the gameplay trailer. As you complete Terrytown and then get to 99.9% with these 2 Koroks, we will not get the Zonai Ruins location. This will be the last location I'm getting, but we're getting there. DLC is added soon. Tears of the Kingdom is literally out in like 4 weeks and a bit now. Thank you for watching and hanging out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.